Hey, in this week's Tales from a Gemini, my guest is Drill Will 217, William Moore. His daughter and his son race motorcycles. He's an instructor, and it was going to be a chat about motorcycles, this and that, and it just got deeper into him being a father. And it's one thing to have a son, but to have a daughter that races motorcycles, and she's following her passion, and he's supporting that. And it's all about family with him. We talked about family and military and the limitless mind, and just getting, clearing yourself away from the other chatter and find out what the kids, what their passion is, and for them to follow that passion. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I didn't know him before, but now I feel like we could be best friends. I mean that. You are going to enjoy this chat with Drill Will 217. Ha ha! Welcome to Tales from a Gemini's BT, man. I'm so happy today to have my guest on. Whenever I have a guest, like it's military or whatever, I feel like I should straighten up and have a straight back and just be on my P's and Q's. Today, my guest, and it's funny because I was going to interview your daughter because she races, and then I saw you and I said, okay, this guy's cool. And it never dawned on me that was your daughter. I just thought, this guy seems, like it'd be a good interview. And all of a sudden I was looking, see who, we were both following the same people. And I go, I know Michaela Moore. This guy here, Drill Will 217 on Instagram, if you watch him, William Moore. This guy is basically father of the decade, if you ask me. He not only instructs people how to ride motorcycles, but his son and his daughter race, and his son is a licensed pilot at 17. What is in the William Moore genes? That's all I want to know. What's in your genes, Will?
Hey, man, we're dreamers, man.
No, you're doers is what you are. You dream, but then you do. I mean, have you guys always been like that, talented, like your whole family?
You can say that. I mean, of course, it started with me, so I had to pull whatever I could out of the genes I created, to see if they possess that gene, and they definitely do.
So you're not gonna give the mom any credit at all. It's all you.
Oh man, Mom Dukes is the biggest supporter, man. Without her, tolerating it all and believing in the whole process, it wouldn't be a thing.
Well, man, let's go back to the beginning with you, man. Like, where you from? Like, how'd the bike life start? All that. Where you from?
Yeah, so I'm originally from California, Victorville. It's a small town.
Oh, not Victorville?
Oh, Victorville, bro.
I passed through Victorville many a time going, why would somebody live there? So it's amazing that you're from.
Exactly.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So were you born in the military or just happen to be from there?
Nah, just from there. That's my dad met my mom back in the late 70s. And, I was there until I was about 4, then moved with my mom to Philly, lived there for a couple of years. Dad came to visit, and my stepmom that was with him, she was my stepmom because she was married to her, asked me if I wanted to come live with them in Maryland. I had such a good time and a good experience with them, I decided to do that. And that was really a game changer because, my mom was young when she had me, bro. She was 16.
Wow.
And so it was 4 of us by the time she was 22.
Wow. What was that like? What was that like? Especially in the 70s, because the 70s were a different time. I tell people all the time, the best music, especially R&B, came from the 70s.
Yeah, no doubt. 100%. At the time, I didn't know any different. Yeah. I didn't know any better until I visited my dad. And, I experienced life on a different level. I never processed rich or poor or have it or didn't have. I just, enjoyed being a kid and have fun. But staying with my dad and my mom, it was memorable. And it was like, man, this is what it feels like it's supposed to be like. And when they went to bring me back, they asked if I wanted to stay. I said, yeah. I mean, I felt bad as hell because I was leaving my brothers and sisters.
Right.
We were like real tight and all. And, I never looked back. But that was a game changer. That my stepmom played a big role in tapping into my talent. She taught me a lot, to be honest.
Like, what all did she tell you? Like what?
She was the type of mom where, she was real stern and strict, obviously, but she let me be a kid. I expressed things that I like and I wanted to do. And she always made it a way. And I didn't know if she was going to be that type of mom.
Yeah.
But I talked a lot, and she always said, "You go from one extreme to the next." But she caught the in between the extremes, and you know, she was able to you know, provide the things that that I most desire, especially when it came to bikes.
Okay, where did that love of bikes come from? Like, did it start as a kid or did it come later in life?
My uncle, 3 years old in the desert, I would never forget it. He put me on a bike, and I remember he set me on a bike, took me up the street. We went into the desert. I just remember the noise, the wind, and holding on. I remember water coming down my face, and he brought me back. And I got off. I was trembling, but man, I would never forget that, bro. It was like 2 weeks ago that happened.
Oh, that's what, no,
So
what kind of bike was it? What kind of bike was it?
it was a RM 125.
Suzuki.
Yeah, Suzuki, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely
Man,
remember that. Uncle Michael. Yeah.
there you go. So you went to the desert, and that's where the love of bikes came from.
Yeah, that's where it was initiated. You know, of course, being in California, I think we weren't too far from one of the drag strips, but you know, people rode dirt bikes. I wasn't that the type of kid then as most kids are now, where you have access to the TVs and you know, watching races and stuff like that. I was always catching, you know, different people riding when I was there. That's what I paid most attention to.
Yeah, because I
You know what
mean,
I mean?
like, I don't know how it is now, but I just remember we always were outside playing. I mean, I don't know about you,
Oh
but
yeah.
always on the bicycle. And if you saw somebody with a motorcycle, you're like, oh my God, they got a motorcycle. And you would follow them
Yes.
on your bicycle, hoping
Yes,
you could get a
sir.
ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was a Voltron and Thundercats kid, and after that, I was outside, bro. I was outside. I was outside doing something, into something.
Not the
You know what I mean?
Thundercats. Not the
Yo,
Thundercats.
Thundercats, Thundercats. Hell yeah,
Man,
yes
that
sir.
is great. That's awesome. So your first love was a dirt bike. First love was dirt biking.
Yeah, that was my first introduction to motorcycles. My dad was big into motorcycles, so you know, when I came to Maryland and moved with him and whatnot, I seen pictures, heard stories. Um, I moved from Maryland to Virginia, and you know, there was a kid around there that had a dirt bike. He immediately became my best friend because he had a bike. You know what I mean? But it was always one of those, you know, one day I wish I would, you know, I can, and you know, that didn't happen so much later. Didn't happen until I came back to Maryland actually,
Well, you know
when I
what?
lived.
That's the same thing with me. It's like, I got the Honda Z50 when I was about
Yeah.
8 years old. And man,
Mhm.
and grew up in a rural area, Oklahoma. So we had nothing but
Yeah,
trails and everything, and could ride. And then, life happens, teenager, whatever, go to college and everything, and then life.
yeah.
And then I've come back in the last like 15, 20 years, man. I come back that first love, which is, just riding, man, riding everything. So is that happened to you? Like, when you went to the military, right?
Yes, sir.
What branch?
Air Force.
There you go. My dad was in the Air Force, so I know you cool. Already I know you
Yep,
cool. You
yep,
put
yep.
you put in that hard work, work. I saw that. I saw that video. That hard
Yeah,
work,
yeah,
work.
yeah. Most, yeah, look, man, people look at me as a mechanic. They treat you based on what you're currently doing. I was like, bro, I'm a man of many talents, bro. Like, let me just let you know, just in case you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So how was your time in the military? Like, where were you stationed? How was it? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. Found out about the military when I was in Arlington City in high school. My wife and I, well, girlfriend at the time, and we did that. Went to the military. She was actually due to go to the Army. I was always Air Force. My dad was Air Force, so um, went to basic training. Had a good time down in Mississippi. Did tech school or basic training was in San Antonio. Tech school was in Mississippi. My wife ended up joining as well. Girlfriend at the time, she joined. She was in Mississippi, so young kid, 19, ready to get after the life. And
Yeah.
um, like I said, I'm a dreamer, man. So I was envisioning and playing out like, damn, I'm in the military. I got this going on. What's the rest of my life going to look like? And who am I going to be with? And what am I going to be doing? So I'm big on partnership and unity and all that great stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I decided to get married young. You know what I mean? Still married to this day,
Congratulations. How many years? How many years?
24 or 23. We be
Oh
23.
my goodness, the old Michael Jordan number. Good for you, brother.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Man, appreciate it. So good time, man. I learned a lot in the military. Military structure. So you don't know what you know until you find out, and depending on your your leadership and all those good things, and the people you surround yourself with kind of determines, your overall experience there. So I did enough and had enough experience to realize it wasn't something I wanted to do 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to stick around that long. My wife did, so I was like, look, you take this approach, I'm gonna take this approach, and we'll see how we can meet on the other side.
Oh, that's nice. But that's
You
what
know
a
what I mean?
partnership's all about. But why'd you
Yeah.
why'd you pick the Air Force of all the branches?
The recruit, I never forget, he said, if you want to be military and military minded, and you want to, what did he say? I can't remember exactly what he said,
You
but
just said you'll never forget it, and now you can't remember it.
well,
Didn't
no,
you just
well,
say didn't he Wyatt? Didn't he say
well, I'm
I'll
gonna
never
tell you
forget
what
it?
he
Go,
said.
what did he say?
He said, listen, if you want your life to be about shit, and you not join the army or the Marines, it's gonna be about shit. If you want a quality of life and you want to feel like a human being and a civilian, join the Air Force. That's what he said, dog. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
That was the funniest thing. You go, I'll never forget it. And you go, damn, what did he say? That's what he said.
I was trying to think of a nice way to say it.
Man, just say it. Shit, man. We got no
Yeah.
censorship on here. But I remember my dad told me, I go, Daddy, why'd you join the Air Force? He goes, shit, he goes, the Marines are the first to get killed. Shit, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah,
That was my
right,
dad, you know?
right.
So
I had an ultimatum. It was either college or military.
you know
So
what? Same way my dad said, either go, yeah, military or college. You go, but one thing is, you ain't staying here, and that's, that's
yes,
what he told me,
facts.
you
Yes.
So you get out of the military. So what was your life's plan? Like, how did you have life planned out? You say you're a dreamer. What did you dream of?
Dude, I dreamed of what could be. I'm always into that. And I was never much of a planner. Just because, even at that time, when you see people, I had experience overseas where it was one of the female units we was training with, good girl and everything, good peoples. They go on a reconnaissance and she didn't make it back. And you're used to hearing those types of stories, on the news or through other people. But like we knew her personally, we established a relationship with her and everything. Her and a group of peers, and it's like, damn, she's dead. Like she's not coming back to the States. That's messed up. So I'm a for today. I mean, I think about the future, but I don't go too far because I know things are subject to change at any moment.
Right.
You
Okay.
know what I mean? So I just always envision, what my life could look like based on these types of decisions, and I just move like that, man.
So
You know.
when did you get back into bikes? When you immediately got out, or what happened? Or how did that work
Oh
out?
man, nah. As soon as even when I was in the bikes when I got in. Like I got a paycheck, I got stability, I can afford a motorcycle. Oh, I'm getting a bike.
What'd you
I
get?
was
What'd you get?
Ninja 95 Ninja ZX6R.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I know the bike. I know that bike. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say
yeah,
that.
man. I had that bike and man, I had a good time on that bike. It scared me, but I was willing to do whatever. I
It's,
was young and wide open.
oh, of course. Well, when you're young, like, you almost feel
Yeah,
invincible. In your 20s, in the military, you feel invincible.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. People used to give me shit about it. It's like, man, you're married now. You're gonna have a family one day, so you gotta really be mindful of, the decisions you make, especially when it comes to this. You have time for this.
Yeah.
But focus on a career and focus on. I said, I'm gonna do all that, but I'm gonna ride this bike. I'm gonna own a motorcycle. You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So when did you make the transition from just riding to racing?
racing didn't come to much later.
Mm.
I was super reckless on the street, to be honest. As I gained confidence and man, I owned a lot of bikes. I went from cocky confident to just an idiot. Like I
Right.
was real reckless.
Right.
But in my head at that time, I was the street king. And I made it a point to make it so. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because there were other guys that were, considered street kings, fast guys, all that good stuff. And I rode to ride with those guys and, establish my little street credibility and whatnot. A buddy of mine was like, bro, you need to get in on the track.
Yes.
For what? You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, I got the street, bro. Like the track, I didn't know nothing about it, so I didn't have much to comment on it. But
Yeah.
he told me like, I'm gonna get you to the track because you're doing a bit much out here, whatever the case. And surprised me for my birthday, bought me a track day, invited me to the track. I fell in love immediately.
Isn't it? That
Oh my God.
that is love at first ride, isn't it?
Yo, man, let me tell you, it scared me, but it humbled me.
Yes.
I realized like what the fuck is going on. Like these guys are on a whole different level.
Yes.
Like, I don't
Yes.
know nothing.
And
You
you
know what I
almost
mean?
want to go, thank you for not letting me screw up on the street. Because once you learn how to ride on the track, you go, what the hell was I doing on the street doing all this shit?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's like starting over again.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
so you fell in love with the track day.
I did. I fell in love with the track day. So much so that even when I first inquired about racing, and I heard about the expense of it, and then over time, about a year, I'll say about 6 months in, I was not really promoted, but I was riding the advanced group,
Okay.
and I was, I'm a quick learner, so even riding in the advanced group, and I did a race day, I'm like, man, these dudes are wide open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a bit much, so I didn't feel like showing up as the mid pack guy. Like if I'm a race, I'm gonna be in the front.
Yes.
I got to be top 5. You know what I mean? I don't even want to play around with it. So did the track day stuff, and the other part that happened was I was introduced to it's called corner spin. You ever heard of that?
No.
What? Yeah, it's through Corner Speed. Aaron Stevenson, he does a corner spin school.
Okay.
So I was asking one of the guys. This was when I was like at my peak track day speed, and I was keeping up with most of the races, so you couldn't tell me nothing. And in my head, I'm ready to race.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this guy in the Ducati, I never forget it, bro. He came by so fast. He went to this turn. This is my first time witnessing somebody backing it in.
Yeah.
So what I thought looked like a crash, he entered the turn, slid that rascal in there, and checked out so quick, I couldn't process what just happened. So I found him in the pits. I talked to him. I was like, I got to know how to do that. Because in my head, nobody was going to pass me in this turn, and you passed me at the last second. And then it looked like he was going to crash. And I didn't know what backing is, right? So I'm like, I thought you were crashing, but you saved it and checked out. He's like, oh, I only slid that much because I don't have any tread on my tire. The tire's about shot.
Right.
And he's giving me all this, these excuses, but he was the guy. He was the man. I don't remember his name, but apparently at that particular time, he was the shit.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, man, the biggest thing is training. Everybody wants to race, but nobody's willing to put in the work to train and learn the necessary fundamentals to be fast and do those kind of cool shit. And so that's how I got into the corner spin. I did corner spin, enjoyed that. On the little XR 100s, you got street tires on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're training there, learning how to slide in the dirt. And we from there, that's how I got introduced to mini moto. So found out about mini moto, and I'm like, okay, track days is this much, mini motos is this much. Shit, I can get the kids in this. They might actually like this. So I took their dirt bikes, took them to the the little go-kart track.
Yeah.
Local go-kart track, and we are on the track, man, riding with dirt tires on. I still got my on-off-road tires on, and they loved it. My daughter was like, Dad, I think I can beat that girl. And I'm like, no, Kayla, you have you can't beat her. I didn't say you can't beat her. I said she had scooter tires.
Yeah.
And you have dirt tires, and we wasn't racing. We were just having fun. I just needed to see if you guys like it. She's like, yeah, but if I had the same tires, I could have beat her. I'm like, so y'all like this? He's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, for me, it was like a light bulb, bro. It was a light bulb. My boys was mad because I came back. I sold my street bike, sold my dirt bike. At that time, I'm like, this is my opportunity to get us all in and see where it goes.
Man.
And it's probably the best decision I made.
Dude, I love that. But you know what I love more is that, and it sounds like nothing. It really does. But man, the fact that I don't say that sounds so antiquated, but the fact that you have a daughter and you don't mind her racing and that you saw that competitive spirit. I mean, on one hand, you got to be like, yeah, that's my girl. You got to on the other hand, that's my girl. I mean, so like, were you apprehensive about letting her race or getting something? Really?
Nope. I don't want my kids to be afraid of nothing.
Good for you.
If you can think it and dream it, we gonna do it. You know what I mean? I was never the type. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was never looking to race. I just wanted to have fun.
Right.
And in my head, this was gonna be a temporary thing. because I felt like they're just going to grow out of it, like most kids do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never aspired to be anywhere near where we're at. These were just all fantasies.
Yeah.
One and most that I've been able to live out. But at the time, I just wanted them to have fun. I wanted them to learn. I wanted to be their coach. Michaela did volleyball and dancing, and I didn't care for how the coaches were talking to them and stuff like that. I'm like, these are kids, why you know what I mean? Junior did soccer and basketball, and the same thing, and I'm like, nah, this is not gonna work. So you know what I mean? The dirt bike thing at the time, I was well versed enough and knew enough, to feel like I can show them a few things, and I would have never suspected where we're at today. But it was definitely a fantasy.
I mean, what really hits me right in the heart, man, was that you built that dirt bike in the back of your house, and watching them kids go, and you're giving them instructions, and they're little, and they're on that little PW50, that little Yamaha PW50.
Yeah, the TTR70, yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's what I love to see. Because, man, I tell everybody, if you're going to get a kid to ride a motorcycle, get them to ride a dirt bike in the beginning. Get them a little dirty. They fall. They'll be okay. And, man, that hit me so hard. I love that. I mean, that hit me. Because you were just, I mean, I can't think of a family being more closer than when they're doing a sport like motorcycle. Like you said, but the other sports is different. There's like a kind of like a disconnect, so to speak.
It is a disconnect.
But with
motorcycle, letting somebody else do the work.
Yes, but motorcycling, man, you're all in. It's all encompassing,
Yeah, and I was real big on establishing a family dynamic that one I wanted growing up. Thinking about the times we moved and a lot of the inconsistencies. The highlight of my youth years was football. And I was good at it.
What position? What position?
Running back and inside linebacker.
Oh, I knew you were a backer. I know a backer when I talk to a backer. I know a backer when I talk to a backer. They never lose that big ass head, and they got that.
Yeah, for real.
And there's just something about a backer. I said, okay, running back, and then when you said back, I go, there you go. I know.
Yeah, man. And I was more of a defensive player than anything. My first experience playing football, I got the MVP. Coach, man, that's how, like, I understood at a young age the difference a coach can make. That dude, he really took to me, and he took his time. And I was always a kid. He pulled to the side and said, things too, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
So I use that with my kids, even till today.
Man, there's nothing. I mean, I always say it is, I'm close to my dad, but man, those years I thought, I was whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I said my wrestling coach, man, was the second most important man in my life for about a 3 or 4 year period. Because man, I listened to him, and he elevated me to another level than everybody else. And I actually listened, and he was so right. Taught me discipline and everything. So I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, I wanted to be that guy for my kid.
That's
because I definitely didn't. Yeah, I didn't want to have that disconnect. When your kids are born, they're everything, and the bond is like huge. And then as they get older, you got the teachers and the coaches and everyone else that gets involved, and it kind of pulls you away a little bit. And not really pulls you away, but you're not the authoritative figure in terms of who the kids not just listens to and respect, but are willing to, I guess, be led by, because you got the teacher. Well, Miss So-and-so said this. Yeah, but I'm telling you this,
right.
And stuff like that. So, in my head, I never wanted to lose that bond, you know what I mean? And the motorcycles definitely created a space to do that. And yeah, I mean, even when I decided to homeschool them, it created just another level, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, you could tell that.
No,
but you could tell that bond. If you go to Michaela's Instagram, it's so funny to see her, fixing on the truck, and then she's fixing the bike. And it's like, and what's the weird thing is that I saw that video, and I didn't make the connection to you. But this is before I even asked you to be on the show. And she goes, Daddy said, I need to learn how to fix the truck. But little does he know, I already had the truck. And then I saw that, and her fixing the bike, and I was like, man, and it just, man, again, that struck me how, like you said, you're that figure in her life that told her she can do everything. And so I see her racing, not only road racing, but did she do like a drag race also?
Yeah. A friend of mine has been bugging me for years, and we finally got her out there.
Which does she like better? Which does she like better?
She loves road racing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves it. Kayla was I used to be real nervous during the mini moto days.
I was gonna ask you that. Yeah. Like, what is your feeling out there? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's not like you're just disavowing your son, but there's something different
Right.
when it's your daughter. And so I want to ask you because I saw when they both crashed because I think she was leading and he was second, and she crashed in front of him, and
Yo,
that's when the video went by. I go, oh shit.
listen, let me tell you, that's the part that scares me.
Yeah.
And mini moto, right? So we're doing an endurance race. Quick story. The guy she's chasing is on a 150F. So it's, obviously 150 versus 100. But she's pushing. I always taught him that it's not the CC in the bike. It's the least amount of mistakes you make versus the amount of mistakes the other person makes. So you got to capitalize on it. You got to be there to capitalize on it. And don't race to beat him. Race to learn what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, capitalize on what he's doing wrong. When you get in front, everything you process, now you got to run. You're chasing or you're running, or you're leading or you're learning, right? So in this case, this was a part of her that I didn't know. Like, I knew it was there. I just never thought I would have seen it. And when I tell you she was riding the wheels off of that bike, to the point where she eventually lost the rear end and the bike, went around on her, she high side and broke her collarbone. I said, Lord have mercy. And, they tell parents, stay on the other side of the track. Dude, it took everything in me not to hop the fence and hop on the track. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, that's my girl laying there. She's laying there, right? So she's busted up. She comes back. She's crying. I'm like, damn, that's it. It's over. No more racing from here.
Yeah.
We go to the hospital. They did x-ray everything. Found out it was broken. But, you're young. You'll heal fast. And maybe you should consider another sport. So the whole ride home was, look, Kayla, we can not do mini moto. We can get into something else. It's no big deal. She's like, no. I'll be fine in what they said, like 4 weeks. And so I'm like, yeah, but it's cool. Cause at this point I'm like, nah, cause I can't afford you getting hurt like that.
Right.
She brushed it off. She wasn't tripping. She's like, I know it's a part of it, but I'm not worried about it. So when she raced that race at Summer Point and they both crashed, that was another time where I saw her tap into an element that made me nervous. Even as she was coming around, she was used to running like 26s. Her fastest was 26, 27, 26, right? Low 26. She started tapping to 25. The bike's been set up tire pressure wise, suspension wise for 26, 20, a minute 26, minute 27 second laps. So when I started seeing the 125 laps, I'm like, just hold it together, Kayla. Like, don't push the issue. And she knew Junior was there. And prior to that race, they wasn't really talking trash, but Junior was kind of like pretty much telling her, Daddy said,
Daddy,
we have to protect each other and we gotta, ride together. So don't make me have to wait for you type of situation. And if you get in front, I'm gonna push you. And Kayla's like, she's like Junior, I've been waiting for you. I gotta find a video because I'm a poster. I humble myself to get you up to speed. Now that you fast, you want to talk trash. Okay. So that race, dude, she was running 24s. And so I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is awesome. I'm glad to be seeing it, but this isn't good. And I just wanted it to be over because I saw how she was pushing. And yeah, she went to that turn, man, lost that front end, and Junior was right there. Damn. But the best part about it, they had such a good time. She hurt her shoulder again. She didn't break nothing. She just had a contusion. But they both was like, man, they was giving each other that, they enjoyed the race because he was like, damn, Kayla, like you was doing the thing. So it was cool.
Dude, I just remember watching that and I go, and I don't have any kids that I know of, but I was like, man, I can only imagine that feeling because, that's your baby girl, that's your son, they're your namesake, and they both crash. It's like,
oh, dude, we worked so hard to get the bikes looking good, right? Just got them freshly painted, got the new suspension locked in and everything. And I was just look, just y'all go out there represent, man. I appreciate the podium, but I want y'all to finish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want you to, best you can put on the show because I know people are watching, what other brother and sister, siblings are out doing what they're doing. And so I just want them to have fun, but man, they stepped it up big time. And, the crash, it hurt it. I hated to see it. because I'm always concerned about what's that going to do to their confidence.
Right.
But they bounce back stronger, man.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
honestly, I'm just like, I mean, we're talking about McKay, and I hate to, I got to talk back your son. I don't want to put him on the
Okay.
back burner. He might be watching this like, oh, my daddy likes me. But I mean,
That's my man.
I mean, no, your son, like I said, your son's incredible too. Like I said, he's a licensed pilot. How does that not? How does it give you feelings of anxiety? He's up in the air on the airplane, but he's a licensed pilot. How did that come about?
When I did the first year, I decided to homeschool him.
Mm-hmm.
Where we lived next to Air Force One, so Air Force One was always flying around. So he would pay attention to stuff like that. We did the air shows. I thought he just liked planes. I didn't know he was like really serious about wanting to become a pilot. That's just something that was a talk he slowly started to, or something he started to express. And I'm like, hey man, anything's possible. You already know. If you can dream it and see it, you can do it. You just gotta, be able to put in the work. A customer at the time who was a pilot, he dropped his bike off, discussed, repairs and everything. And he's like, take your time. I'll be gone for 3 weeks, and I'll touch base with you when I get back. I'm like, okay, going on vacation? He's like, nah, it's work. I'm like, okay, what do you do if your mommy asks? He's like, I'm a pilot. So Junior's upstairs working, doing the school. He hears that. He comes coming downstairs like out of nowhere. He's like, you're a pilot? He's like, yeah. And he's like, man, what's that like? And they just had a conversation. And then after that, the guy was like, hey man, your son has a real interest in this, and I can turn you on to some programs that help me. And dude, it just took off from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's meant to be.
Took off from there. And once he realized he was able to get it once he realized he can get it at 17, he just started doing the little calculations in the head. He's like, all right, I got to take ground school and I got to do this. If I do all these things, pass the test, I can actually pull it off. I'm like, yeah, but I said, dude, you got to eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, because to pull that off first time, that's not easy. You know what I mean? So, but he did though. He put in the work, man. I will give him that.
Okay, so now here's the big question: would you trust him like to fly you anywhere?
Man, dude, before he got his license, he said, I just want to get my license and fly you guys to Cambridge to breakfast. I've been flying with him a couple times.
You trust your son to fly you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've flown at least 4 times so far.
Man, good.
Three times by myself, once with the wife.
Oh, that's gotta be so cool. Have your son fly you.
Man, it's gangster. Because hey, look, when I let him drive, hey, look, slow down, put your turn signal on. I'm telling him what to do. But hey, when it came to flying,
yeah,
put them headphones on. He's squawking over the box, man. He's a different kid. I just sit back in admiration, like, look at this dude, man, talking the lingo, the whole nine, and I'm just looking around like, yep, this is happening.
That's great. It'll be funny if he goes, Dad, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna pull his plane over.
Oh, listen, he'll hit you with the what they call it, some kind of terminology they use. It's a terminology they use when they need everybody to be quiet.
Yeah.
Because they can't have any type of external distractions or anything that's interfere with their flying.
So basically, he can tell you to shut up, and you have to shut up, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was a kid, he was a dad. I had to give him that respect, man, because and then we're in the little planes, you feel everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like riding a bike with no damn suspension, but it was cool.
Man, dude, you are living. You didn't realize you're living the dream. I mean, that's a beautiful life you got. You married your high school sweetheart. I mean, both your kids race. One of your kids is a pilot and a racer, dude. I mean, it's like you're living the dream.
You can say that, definitely. Yeah, sometimes it's like it ain't over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because there's so many other things that I think about. Even before, some of the things that Michaela's been doing. These are just, things that I had in mind. Like, I knew she liked trucks because when she was 7, I let her drive a truck in the neighborhood. Anytime if I leave in the car, no big deal. But if I jump in that truck, she's coming with me. So, that was her thing. And, I always say, hey, one day you'd be driving this. And that's why we're at with that damn truck, because I've had it that long.
Yeah.
And,
is it a GMC?
Yeah.
Dude.
No, it's a Chevrolet. It's a Chevrolet Silverado.
What year?
06.
How many miles? How many miles?
181.
I got a 99 GMC Sierra I'm looking at right now. It's got 421,000 miles on it. Beat
Get
that.
him.
Beat that.
Damn.
Beat that. You gotta say it like that. But yeah, beat
Jeez.
that. Yeah.
Man, that's unreliable, man.
Hey, the goal is $500,000. I want to get $500,000 on it. That's all I
You'll
want to
get
do.
that. Yeah, they deemed those 5.3s $500,000 motors.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Well, I got a different motor in it. I got a different tranny. But yeah, man.
Oh, it don't count. It doesn't count. You said different motor and a different tranny?
You gotta be that way, man. You gotta be that way.
Bro, you need the same motor.
You ain't gotta be that way, man. You ain't gotta be that way. I'm trying to give you props, and here you are trying to rain on my parade. I'm trying to be a
Nah,
kinship.
you got it. Hey, if you can pull it off, hey, more power to you, man. I hope you get 600 plus.
Well, hey, I might as well go for if I get $500,000, I'm gonna go for $1 million.
And why not? You
Why
might have to
not?
do a frame off reconstruction. Because that joint's gonna be beat.
Yeah, I call it my rust bucket. You got to get a tetanus shot to ride my truck.
Yeah, man.
You got to get a tetanus shot. So,
Yeah, I love those trucks.
so what's your goal? Well, I saw her actually back the trailer in, and she was happy because she had the trailer with the bikes in it, and she backed it in. That was a big thing for her.
Yeah, she's been driving since I let her drive from Florida one time, coming back from Daytona in my lap. We just left the restaurant, and so the hotel from the restaurant was like, I don't know, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I let her drive the whole time, and she fell in love with that. And when she turned 16 and got her license, I've always let her drive the truck.
How old is she? How old
with
is she?
the trailer.
How old is
She's
she?
18 now.
Is she going to college, or what's she gonna do?
Yeah, so Kayla, she's up in the air. I told her, listen, I personally, I don't believe in the collegiate approach because I think it's unless you're in a position where you have a scholarship and things like that. I think it's a trap in a lot of ways.
Yes. Yes.
It's a good experience for kids. I do understand that. But I think it interferes with your, I guess, life plan because you meet people, you establish relationships. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I'm a believer in find out what you want to do, and the things you want to do is based on what gets you excited, what gives you fulfillment. People talk about being happy. What makes you feel fulfilled? What makes you if you can stay up all day and do it and not get paid, that's what you should be doing. You know what I mean? But obviously you want to get paid, and
right.
We're in a new world, bro. Like the technology, the cryptocurrency, everything we're in information overload. So it's like you got to gravitate to something that best fits you, find out about it, exploit it in a way where it brings value monetarily and,
quality of life.
Yeah, everything, bro. You know what I mean? 'Cause you gotta, we don't want to be playing catch up. You got to kind of be in with what's happening.
So what right now? What's making her happy? What's her passion right now?
Man, she loves these bikes, man.
So you think she'll be a professional racer, or wants to be, or a mechanic at least?
She's a mechanic. Like she'll drop a motor in a minute, like it's nobody's business. She'll swap a motor like it ain't nothing at 18.
Wow.
I got those videos. They'll be coming out.
Man,
I just take a slow approach to it. Yeah, but she enjoys that. She enjoys the life she's been introduced to. And I used to feel guilty because I'm like, damn, this is all I taught her.
Yeah.
There's so much more you can do. And look, you want to work at, Chick-fil-A because I like their etiquettes and, you can learn things from that realm and, maybe become a franchise owner type situation as you get older.
Right.
But everything I propose, she's like, why? I don't even think about that.
Wow.
I'm like, all right. Because I've been wanting to close the shop and some more stuff, bro, to get back into carpentry.
Really?
I've had realtors asking, if I know people that do this type of work. Well, don't you used to do that work? I'm like, yeah, I don't have time because I got the shop. But she won't let me do it.
Really?
Nah, she loves it, man. She loves every bit of it.
So you created a monster, basically.
I did, bro. No bullshit. I really did. Like now I got to be accountable to myself and carry out all the stuff that I talked about, back when.
Well, basically, I mean, that's what it is. But but you nailed it, man. I mean, like growing up, and I guess we grew up in the same kind of thing where like it was taught to you. It's like we talked about earlier. You go to college or the military, this and that, and it was like this, and that's the way life was when growing up. I mean, you can't really blame your parents because that's just how it was.
That's all we knew. Yeah.
But now we know, like you said, Quality life. What makes you happy? And that's they can take all the bad things they want to say about kids nowadays. But what I like about them is they're going, no, dad or mom, whatever. I want to do this because this is what makes me happy, and I
Yeah,
love that. You know, it's a different trail, but good for those kids, man. You know.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Family members, dude. I've had some stories, man, where it kind of took me back because I'm thinking to myself, how can you ask my kids this damn question? Like, you're acting like they're not doing anything extravagant now. Okay, so my son being a pilot, oh, his future is great and grand and bright because it's endless what he can do and accomplish. So when they ask Kayla, like, what are you gonna do? And have you thought about this? And you should think about doing that and all this other stuff. And Kayla's like, yeah, I mean, those are good ideas, but I like what I'm doing now, you know.
That's
And
all.
she has to remind him, like, I enjoy what I'm doing. And I know that to be the case because, I'm big on initiative. And, there's things, around the shop needs to be done a certain way. Certain jobs need to be done a certain way. Parts need to be ordered. When I go to do them, they're already done. Oh man, Kayla, we need to order that. I ordered that 2 days ago. I need to reach out to this customer, give him a heads up. I emailed him. You know what I mean? We got a scheduled appointment. Dad, look, come here. And then she shows me. I'm like, shit, you did all that. When'd you do that? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
she loves it, man. She's tapped in.
That
So now I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta stay the course.
That's you both hold yourself accountable, and that's what
Yeah,
that's what's beautiful
absolutely.
about it. And you gotta love it. Work with your daughter. I mean, that's I
Well,
envy you for that.
it was both. It was we were all working together. Junior just recently got a job at the airport.
And what's he
Um,
doing? Baggage handler?
nah, he is
I was
what
gonna
you
say.
call a line tech. So he directs the planes in, he
Oh, that
fuels them.
dude. Like
Yeah,
in the movie Airplane, that went like they're over there, and the airplane went.
yeah. But
Yeah,
where he is, dog,
yeah,
he's pretty much like a glorified valet for
yeah.
airplane for pilots. The tips are vicious. You know what I mean? Like they hook him up, man. Yeah, he don't get nothing less than $50,
Yeah,
and depending on the company, they'll slice him with $100 easy.
man,
And
good.
he's networking. That was his whole job. He didn't go there to field planes. He said I wanted to go there to network. Yeah, you said it's all about networking. So I need to talk to the people that's doing the things that I want to do. Damn if he ain't doing
Man, that's good.
it.
That's good. Okay. So what about you now, Dad? What about you now? Now
And
you
listen,
race now, right? You race, right?
I race because people kept saying, "Do you race?" And because I'm 40 plus, I'm washed up. I'm like,
You ain't
you have
washed
no
up.
idea what I'm capable of.
Hey, you ain't
Like, get out of here.
you ain't washed up. You look good. I mean, sir,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I thought you was about 38. Seriously, I thought you was about 38.
Nah, I'm 43.
Nah, you look 38. You don't look a day over 38.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I did the racing thing because again, we did it during the mini motos. At one point, we was aspiring to do Moto America and take it to the next level, but they was like, it's a lot of money. It's a different kind of commitment, the whole nine. They both expressed they didn't want to put that kind of strain on us, and I'm like, it's cool. We'll do it for the experience. We'll make history, if you will.
Mhm.
And it was like, well, we can make history by racing at Daytona. Remember, you said you could see us racing at Daytona, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, we probably can do that. And sure enough, we did.
How'd you do?
You know,
How'd you do?
I got 3 national championships. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Kayla got her championship in her class. I think Junior got second. But it was just the fact that back in 2010, we were at Daytona, and I pictured myself. I was like, man, I'll race this track. I mean, this would be cool if I'm able to do that. So fast forward, 10 years later, 9 years later rather, we were able to pull it off, and I did it with the family. That was all I cared about, and that was like that's our Motor America. You know what I mean? That was the highlight of what we wanted to be able to do. So now it's just like whatever. I just want to teach other people how to do it the right way.
Yeah, so you started your school, right? You're an instructor now.
Well, so I race or we ride with Evolve GT,
Okay.
the track day. Yes, and we do coaching and instructing through them.
How do you like that?
Yes.
How do you like doing that?
Oh man, so that confirmed my passion and zeal for wanting to teach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm always, I got all kinds of ideas of waking or helping people become better, and having that opportunity to do that with them for the last 4 years, 5 years, 5 years, I think it's been. I'm ready for that next chapter. I got some big plans and big ideas to pull something different off.
Well, can you give us
You're gonna know. You're gonna know who Drill Will is when it's all said and done.
well, can you give us a little peek of like what might be coming? Maybe a little like a little
Hey, look,
tease?
it's nothing that much different than what's already being done and instructed, but it's more from a psychological perspective.
In the sense of
Performing, your drills. A lot of times we're so hands-on with pulling off the the task or the drill. We don't think about what we're doing. We're just doing it. And my approach to coaching some of the riders I've coached, I'll speak to them. I'll figure out, well, what's going on in your head? Like, I see what's going on here, but what's going on there? And I've been able to connect with them in ways to kind of like hack into, not really hack into their brain, but help them to see things in a way where they're able to, expedite that, the drill or whatever technique they're trying to gather. So it works for my kid. It worked for the other kids I've taught back in the day. It's very effective. So
I just want to know, can you help me wheelie? I can't wheelie.
Dude, they used to call me Willie Will, bro.
Oh, there you go. I knew that was coming.
Listen,
I knew he was going to do that. He gave me a backhand like in a way.
You know how you learn how to Willie?
How?
By not looping it.
Well,
Everybody, you just don't loop it. Sometimes you concentrate so much on trying to get the wheel up that you forget to roll off. And you notice when people crash, they're like, oh. You know what I'm saying? So I tell them, listen, just get the wheel up and don't loop it. Okay. Whatever you do. If you feel like you're about to crash, roll off. Okay. And you just keep creeping up to that edge until right when you feel like you're gonna crash, and just roll back off. And don't shut it off, just roll off.
Okay. I'm gonna do that on my dirt bike because I have a Ducati Multistrada, and I'd be damned if I'm gonna get that dirty. If I mess up on a wheelie, I'm gonna crash that. So
and that bike got so much torque, second gear, 7,000 RPM, just roll on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to brag, but yeah, you know how I do. Come on now,
Yeah.
Look at that. See, I rep the brand, baby. I rep the brand, baby.
Ducati. That's what I call it.
Yeah, man. Man, honestly, God, I love this talk. I love how your brain thinks if you can dream it, then you can do it. And where did that come from?
Desperately wanting certain things to be a certain way. And when I was young, it wasn't. So I was like, when I get a chance at achieving it, I'm gonna be that guy.
Well, and that was before, like I said, kids they have it easy in the sense of they have YouTube to maybe get them ready mentally.
Yes.
And they had The Secret and other kind of meditation books. Shit. But we had to find it our own way organically. And that's why I love what you're doing, because like you said, you had to find it your way, like, okay, I don't like the way this is going, so I'm gonna find a way to get it to how I want to. I'm gonna dream this.
Yeah. So my coach, when I played when I first started, he would play out the play, and and teaching me how to read the play. And then he was like, I don't want you to hit people. I want you to run through them. If you see them, I want you to run through them and try to hit the guy behind them. And that's how I became the tackler that I became. And like he spoke in terms of visualizing how to do a certain thing. You know what I mean? And that resonated with me. I'm like, I can see that. He said, well, I want you to do that.
Do you do a lot of visualization now still to this day?
Yeah, man, I visualize, bro, before you hit me up about podcasts. I knew I was gonna be doing a podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I can show you my setup, but not really, because we're doing it on a computer. But I have a setup because I've been wanting to start a podcast.
Well, listen, no, don't do it, because I don't want no competition. So why don't you just let me do that?
Listen, no, it's never competition. The only competition is you, sir. That's it.
Well, listen. How about you lead the podcast game to me, and I'll interview the whole family. How about that? And you just leave this to me,
man. but yo, folks, they just been telling me, oh, dude, man, you should really do this, and that plays a role too. I'm a normal dude. You know what I mean? I got aspirations like the next person. I don't process reality well. because I feel reality sets you in a place of complacency. So if you're always dreaming and believing and trusting that it can become possible, then that's my motivation. That's my drive, you know. And so when people say, if I'm thinking one thing, I don't speak on it. But when they speak to that, I'm like, okay, I've been thinking about that. It's funny you said I should do this. And so, and it's been coming shit real hard lately more than ever, man. Dude, if you had a podcast, I can listen to you talk all day.
And look,
I don't even like my own voice.
and voila, look at that. And
Yeah,
I
you
came
know what I'm
in.
saying?
I came
Yeah,
in. I came in
yeah.
the door. I said it before. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got goosebumps when you said that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, man, shit, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean?
I could tell, man, when I hit you up. And you know what's funny is I just kind of knew it was going to be this way just from the pictures. Just from the pictures. I was like, you know what? This dude's going to be, I felt that, man. And I know it sounds like a bunch of crap, but you kind of think how I think, in that you just got to think limitless. You know, I try to get away from people who don't, I mean, God bless them, whatever. That's how they get down. That's how they get down. But I don't like, I like to get it in my own little head and just think everything is limitless, man. You can do it. You just got to focus on it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm with my producer, Wyatt. I mean, you know, seriously, Wyatt's the man.
See, so you have a team.
Well, no, it's just Wyatt. He's one. He's one.
He's one?
Yeah.
He's still a team. Between the both of you guys, look at what you're doing.
I know. Look at us. See, hear that, Wyatt? You hear that? You hear that, Wyatt?
Yeah, that's huge. Listen, I'm inspired. You know, this is my first official podcast.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I could listen to you talk all day because I had another guest who was who I trained with, a Navy SEAL. He's one of the 50 black Navy SEALs. And he was on this podcast. We did a 2-parter. And it's still to this day the highest rated podcast I've ever done, and people are still hitting me up for it. And that was like over a year ago. You can check it out if you go to the end. And the way he talks about, you know your why, and you know, and know why.
Dude, that's everything.
Yes, and
that's everything.
And it's almost like talking to Kenny, isn't it? I mean, seriously, it's almost like talking to Kenny. I mean, granted, Kenny's in better shape than you, but it's almost like talking to Kenny. It really is. So, you know, that limitless mind and how you think and what you've done with your kids, man, that is so beautiful. And, you know, and don't even touch on a little bit, but it's great to see, and no disrespect to anybody, but it's great to see that when you go to a racetrack, there's faces that look like us, which
yeah, absolutely.
It sounds like nothing. It really does. It sounds like nothing, and it's just a little bit of something. And it's no disrespect, because I've never gotten anything bad at all from a racetrack. But it's a kind of a good feeling to know, like, oh, okay, we can do that, and people like us are here.
You know the best feeling?
What?
Is how you're embraced.
Yes.
How you're celebrated.
Yes.
That won my wife over, because we back in the day we did the drag race strip. And, you know, drag race is a mixed culture as well, but it's predominantly, you know, black, and trash talking, you know, just loud bikes, and you know that's the drag racing world. And then you go, and then everybody's kind of doing their own thing. So we go to the racetrack, different culture, different demographic, and from the day she went, they embraced her. She was like, "Babe, I really enjoyed it. I met this one lady. Her name is such and such. That was the husband that was pitted next to us. Oh, and then she just telling me, I was like, yeah, so you like that? She's like, yeah, we need to do this. I would much rather you be here than on the street. Like, I can support this. I can get behind this. And then over time, you know, I didn't care to leave the kids with my mother-in-law, right? So in my head, I'm like, I got to find a way to get them out here. And I did that once. That didn't work out well, which is why, you know, I went to the whole mini moto thing. But
Right.
look at us now, man. You know what I mean? It's been a blessing.
Dude, I mean, it really is. Like I said in the beginning, you know, I was half joking when I said Father of the Year, but I mean that. You are a great Father of the Year, man. People look at you and it can be done, and it's beautiful. Like I see, because you have a daughter and a son, and they're both doing it, and it's in the family. And I think you should be celebrated. I'm going to give you your flowers now, because you should be celebrated. I mean that. It's great. I mean, because, you know, it's all about family. You guys are together, and you just, that little example you're teaching to your daughter, just follow your passion. Don't listen to the rest of your family. I mean, no, they think they mean well, but sometimes you got to get away from them and just do your own path, especially for her. And I mean, don't get me wrong, no disrespect to your son. He's great, but it's just something about that dad-daughter relationship, and say, hey, you know, go that least path of least resistance, man. Dude, do that.
Your daughter, aside from your mother and your wife, is your second love. Your
Yeah.
mom's your first, but then your wife becomes your real love, right?
Yeah.
And then your daughter's like, man, it's my baby girl. Like, you know what I mean? Your mind is all over the place
Right.
because you got to think about the guy she's going to be with. So I got to be the example of showing her the type of guy she deserves. And you know, you want somebody to be invested in you and your abilities and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, man, I'm happy she's enjoying herself. That's what matters the most. Junior is having a good time. He's excited about his endeavors and things he wants to do. She is happy doing exactly what she's doing now. And I stopped talking to her and thinking about other stuff. I'm just following her lead at this point, you know. She's 18.
Yeah.
She kind of knows what she wants. So I'm always talking. You know, what's the next move? What we doing next year? What we doing this year? We racing this year? We selling? Are we gonna start selling bikes? We're gonna teach. You know, what's the deal? And we just have a good conversation, man.
That's beautiful. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Drill Will 217. Thank you so much for your time, brother. I mean it from
Yes,
the
sir.
bottom of my heart. Thank you, man.
Yes, man.
I can't wait for this to drop. I think it's surprising people, man.
Was this good? This was cool.
Oh my God, it was great. I'm glad you finally figured it out. I mean, people don't know that I had to
Yeah.
wait on him to like download Zoom, but other than that, yeah.
It's all good. It's great.
No.
Hey man, feel free to hit me up whenever, bro.
No, man. Thank you so much for your time. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, man. You are a great, great father, and it's great to see. Much love to you and your family. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching Tales from a Gemini. Follow him at Drill Will 217. He'll teach you how to
Yes,
ride
sir.
bikes. He'll teach you how to be a great dad. He'll teach you about the limitless mind and everything, all things good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Drill Will. And like we say about this time, you know the word, pay.
All right, bro.